where they have their annual
summer camp. So we're at the Hamas annual terrorist summer camp. Welcome back to me watching terrorist propaganda so that you don't have to. And if you don't know what I mean, today I got you a really good one, because turns out with a camera you can go straight into the Hamas tunnels in Gaza. That is what I call top tier journalism. Yeah, this video is from 4 years ago, 2 years, a year and a bit before those same tunnels were used to infiltrate Israel and store Jews as hostages. In Lachia.
He's a rescue worker with the Palestinian Civil Defense, who are funded by the Hamas government.
Just casually. Do you know why? This is exactly the problem we have with human shields and what Hamas teaches Gazans to do. Their strategy is to maximize civilian casualties. So what they instruct Gazans to do is to stay put. When those warnings come in, don't move. It's not a coincidence that he survived while his family died, and it's not Israel's fault. This is by design.
A lot of the other buildings around here are still intact. Why is it that the Israeli Defense Forces was targeting this building specifically? Were there any Palestinian militants, any Hamas members, any Islamic Jihad members in this building?
لا أنا البيت ما فيش كلهم مدنيين ما لهمش في التنظيمات من مرة.
They're always innocent civilians, all of them.
Hamas began firing thousands of rockets into Israeli territory following Israel's efforts to forcibly evict Palestinian families from Sheikh Jarrah.
Nope.
They use whatever excuse they can to bomb us. There's always something new. You think just anyone in Palestine gets buried with the green garb? That's Hamas militants. Those are straight up terrorist funerals you're watching here.
Most Palestinians living in Gaza are unable to leave because of the strict blockade on goods and people.
A lot of them are able to leave.
Vice News spent months securing access to both sides in an attempt to understand the military players involved in a conflict that has angered and rallied people around the world.
I wonder why has this particular conflict been the one to anger and rally people around the world?
In the middle of the night, Hamas's military wing, the Al-Qassam Brigade, took us to an undisclosed location and asked us...
The Hamas's military wing? Al-Qassam Brigade? So just straight up terrorists. The ones that in a year and a half will be committing the October 7 massacre. These are the guys that in a year and a half from now will be breaking into people's homes, shoot everyone, rape, slaughter, and pillage, basically. But they're not terrorists, because you said so.
Extremely concerned about security and us not knowing where we're going, so they're going to be blindfolding me and taking us to the next spot. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, this is the kind of interest.
Absolutely nothing is allowed down. We're having to give over our cameras, give over everything before we go down there. To make sure that there's absolutely zero tracking devices or any way of anyone knowing the location of where we're going to.
So they are going deep into the terrorist tunnels, and that's on YouTube, with 7 million views.
These tunnels are built to be out of sight from Israel's drones and have been used in the past to launch attacks on their enemy.
Their enemy is being me at home as a teenager.
Why are you so obsessed with me?
The IDF says this was with the explicit intention of destroying Hamas's underground tunnel network.
If we were succeeding to do that, maybe October 7 wouldn't have happened and Israelis would have survived, that you just let us do our job.
We were given exclusive access inside these still active tunnels.
Our hostages were kept, tortured, and executed in those tunnels that you get to visit.
Hamas militants are internationally designated as terrorists.
I wonder why.
So we're currently deep underground somewhere in the Gaza Strip. So they have finally let us down here because they're keen to show that despite the fact that Israel says that they've destroyed over 60 miles of these tunnels, that they're still going strong. They are rebuilding their tunnel.
They've still got an extensive network that they can use to move people around and to store weaponry.
They're doing this to show that despite all the attacks, they still have enough power to keep terrorizing Israel. And the only reason that they let you in there is so that you yourself can show everyone how Hamas still has enough power, people, and tunnels to keep terrorizing Israel. Well done. This is some top-notch journalism.
What makes you so certain that joining Hamas, joining the Al-Qassam Brigade, and ultimately turning to violence is the answer here?
There's no other solutions but this weapon.
No other solution than violence. And they tell you this themselves. They tell you their solution is violence and killing us. Our solution is trying to find some peace, diplomacy. But no, you guys want to stand with violence.
You're launching rockets from civilian areas as well. Doesn't that mean that you're endangering Palestinians? claim to be fighting for?
We are sacrificing ourselves and our times and everything we do in order to ensure a better future for our children.
But are you also not sacrificing the civilians that are directly above you?
Of course, we don't want them to get killed or to get targeted. This is the only choice we have. This is what we can do, and they are supporting us. You can go to the sea, you can go to the air, you can go to anywhere. So that's why we are building tunnels. This is the only mean which is possible for Al-Qassam brigades.
What is any of this really achieving?
The one who started this war, not Hamas or not the Palestinians, but the Israeli occupation. And
But you guys fired the first rockets.
who said that? We warned them. We told them not to.
Who said that? We warned them. We told them not to.
And stormed our holy land. Holy site for
that? We
Muslim.
told them not to.
And
But you guys fired the first rockets.
it doesn't mean
We are talking about the holy site for Muslims, the same holy site they use to store weapons.
that the first rocket was launched from Gaza mean that we started the war.
So if they launched the first rocket, that doesn't mean that they started the war, because the first crime is Jews living there.
So it will keep going unless the
We left unilaterally. We tore down our homes from Gaza unilaterally in 2005. They killed the biggest proponents of peace. They killed their neighbors that were advocating for peace.
These men saw the occupation of their land and the raid of Jerusalem's Al-Aqsa Mosque by Israeli police as justification for what came next. But the Israelis see Hamas's unsparing use of rockets as a direct threat to their national security.
Okay, so everything is very, very close, and hundreds of thousands of citizens living under threat, 24/7 threat.
And here's what you don't understand. In terms of real estate, I'll admit we did not pick out the best location to be born. I was born in the middle of the Middle East, alright? To be able to live where I live, not being lynched, robbed, persecuted, and having basic decency and human rights is all thanks to the Israeli Air Force. They do have to fly over like police, because they are our air police, because they believe that violence is the only way to get rid of us. And that's what you're trying to help them do.
There is no other military, there is no other air force all around the world that use such a methods by calling the enemy and ask them, please get out from your house because your house is a target.
Sometimes that happens.
No,
Not all the time.
When we know that there is people at the house which are not terrorists, we did it. And we did it thousands of times, not once or two.
Israelis are pissed off because we called them knock-on-roof operations. We want the terrorists gone.
The Israeli Defense Forces have killed 20 times the number of Israelis who have been killed. How is it proportionate or justifiable to be using...
Again, all of it ignores the Hamas strategy of maximizing civilian casualties. When we tell them to please get out, Hamas tells them, no, you stay and you let Israel bomb you so that we can cry about it later, extort money, and then use you.
Well, this is not the way that I would like describe the situation.
But that is the situation.
No,
I mean,
the situation
20 times the number of people that you've killed versus the number of Israelis that have died.
We don't want to act. We react because we cannot accept the Hamas or the Islamic Jihad is launching rockets toward Jerusalem or toward any other city.
I mean, the problem is that both sides say that they're defending themselves, and so you have to recognize...
No, one side says they have no other choice but violence, and I don't want to die.
Do you accept responsibility for the disproportionate number of civilians
Should I
that have
apologize
died?
because I'm stronger? No. Isabel, it's important for me. I'm not attacking citizens. They launch rocket toward the center of the cities. They want, and they declare they want to kill Israeli citizens.
Under international humanitarian law, warring parties can only target military objectives and must take all precautions to minimize harm to civilians, something both sides stress they do. But that's not true. The night that Hassan's daughter and grandchildren died, Hamas authorities claimed that multiple guided bomb missiles dropped by the Israelis were responsible for their deaths. We were unable to corroborate the exact weaponry used. Two survivors we were able to speak with independently said the IDF did not call anyone in the building to warn them of the attack. If they had, they said, they would have evacuated. The IDF later sent a statement to Vice News. They claimed they did not target the building where the Al-Atta family lived, but rather a terror tunnel placed in close proximity to the building.
I'm really curious how many of them participated in October 7. And when I said teenager, there you go, that's what I meant. They recruit child soldiers, 13, 14, 15.
So we're inside Hamas training base right now. This is where they have their annual summer
Camp. It's the word the Hamas annual terrorist summer camp.
There's hundreds and hundreds of kids here. But apparently this year, the number of young kids who have signed up and are wanting to join Hamas has exploded. Some of these kids are as young as 15. They come here to get fitness training, military training.
الهدف من هذا التمرين تعليم الطلاب التسجيل على الأهداف.
And you think this is normal? Child soldiers for terrorists is normal?
Who are you targeting? Who's the enemy?
احنا عدونا واحد، هو العدو الصهيوني الإسرائيلي اللي اغتصب أرضنا، واحنا مقاومتنا جاءت من انطلاق من حق يعني أصلي، ونحن نمارس.
So they told you that the enemy was the Israeli army, but on October 7, the victims were not the Israeli army, were they?
What would you say to people who, would say that you are brainwashing young children and you're training them to fight for the benefit of Hamas?
احنا يعني لا نغصب الطلاب ولا نجبرهم على التسجيل في هذه المخيمات. هذا الجيل فتح عينيه على الدنيا، على صوت القصف والدمار ومشاهد الترويع اللي بيتعرض لها المواطنين عندنا في غزة.
The reason they join these camps is because they genuinely don't have any other option. That is really the only future children in Gaza can have, that it really is a pipeline meant to continuously process children from birth to martyrdom.
And do you think it's these kinds of experiences that motivate these young people to come to training camps like this?
أكيد.
Wow, okay, so that was an experience. Turns out that you can watch terrorists on YouTube tell their stories. Subscribe so that I can watch more terrorist propaganda so that you don't have to. And let's see if I'll still have freedom of speech next time. Thanks for watching.